Ladies and gentlemen, please give a warm welcome to the Executive Director of the American School of Classical Studies at Athens, George Orphanakos.
Welcome. Welcome and good evening, and thank you so much for once again joining us tonight as we celebrate the American School of Classical Studies at Athens. We are always grateful for your presence and for your support. We would like to begin by offering a special welcome to several of the distinguished guests that have joined us this evening. To begin, let us welcome and congratulate our Athens Prize recipient, Mary Lefkowitz. On behalf of the entire American School, I would also like to extend a warm welcome to some of our previous honorees who are with us tonight. We would like to acknowledge the presence of the Stavros Niarchos Foundation, who is our most worthy recipient of the 2018 Gennadius Prize. We also wish to welcome and acknowledge the two previous Athens Prize recipients, John Camp from 2016 and our friend Ed Cohen from 2022. Now, before we commence our program tonight, permit me to thank all of our friends that sponsored tables. Tonight would not be a success without you. And also to all those who donated such wonderful items in our silent auction that you'll see throughout the room. We encourage you to please, if you're inspired tonight, to please make bids and support the school. Make a direct contribution to the school, and you can do that by using the iPads that are on the tables in front of you, or even in your Gala program. You can scan the QR code that's on the back. But we thank you for all of that support. The funds that we raise tonight enable the American School to preserve, protect, and promote Greece's past through archaeological exploration, conservation, research, publications, exhibitions, academic and public programming. And now, without further ado, it's my great pleasure to introduce to you the chairman of our Board of Trustees, Alex Zagorius.
Thank you, George. And thank you to the team for making this event possible. I would like to extend my appreciation to the co-chairs of our gala, Nicole Honeyman, Sula Mistras, Jackie McCabe, Bob Pounder, and Catherine Yatrakis for their commitment and hard work. I can't see you all. I'm sorry about that. Tonight we gather in celebration. It is with great joy that I convey the congratulations of the trustees and the entire American School community to Mary Lefkowitz. Mary, your invaluable contributions to the study of ancient Greece are widely recognized, and it is a great pleasure that we present you tonight with the Athens Prize. And we all love you dearly. As we pay tribute to Mary, we also commemorate the rich legacy of the American School of Classical Studies at Athens, a legacy that has been built over more than a century of dedication and collaboration. Our achievements stand as a testament to the unwavering commitment and generosity of countless individuals. Among them, I would like to acknowledge our trustees, overseers, emeriti, both past and present, as well as our managing committee, academic community, and the dedicated staff from Athens and Princeton. I'd like you all to stand so we could appreciate you and express our gratitude for your invaluable contributions of time and talent and resources. Please. Tonight's program promises to be exceptional. As you listen to our speakers and enjoy the short films we have prepared, I hope you will find inspiration in the passion that we have, not only for Greece's historic past, spanning prehistory to the present, but for the people of Greece. And now, ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure to invite to the stage the director of the school, Vana Westcoat.
Thank you so much, Alex. And I'd like to say we deeply appreciate all that you do, along with the members of the Board of Trustees and the overseers for the school. We are pleased to welcome everyone here this evening to celebrate another very successful year for the American School of Classical Studies, and also to congratulate Mary Lefkowitz on receiving the Athens Prize. We have long admired Mary. She is an excellent professor, a pioneer in research related to women in the ancient world, and a dedicated trustee of the American School. So, singharatiria, axia. Now, just a month ago, we held our annual open meeting in Athens when I was able to report on the really extraordinary work that's happening at the American School of Classical Studies. We're not only the largest foreign research institute in Greece, but we are also the most wide-ranging and far-reaching. The philanthropic support of the board of members and the many friends of the school gathered here tonight make this work possible, and we want you to know how much we really appreciate your generosity. I'm delighted that with us here tonight are many of my colleagues who lead our core departments and guide the academic program and core mission of the American School. And I've invited them to join me here on stage so that you may have the opportunity to recognize them and also be able to meet and talk with them tonight about their work for the school. So please welcome the General Manager of the American School, Telos Panos. The Director of the Malcolm H. Wiener Laboratory of Archaeological Science, Dr. Takis Hartanas. The Director of the Gennadius Library, Dr. Maria Yorgopoulou. Who is joined this year with the Senior Librarian at the Gennadius, Irini Solomonidi. The Doreen C. Spitzer, Director of the American School Archives, Dr. Natalia Wojciechowicz-Rogan. The Director of the Athenian Agora Excavations, Dr. John Papadopoulos. The Director of Publications, Carol Stein. And the editor of our prize-winning journal Hesperia, Jennifer Satcher. We are all deeply grateful for all that they do for the American School. Thank you. Now, in 2018, through the generosity of the trustees, overseers, and many friends of the school, we ushered in a program promising new opportunities for the school with the inauguration of the Makrianis Wing. This exhibition space, named by Dino and George Makrokostas and the Makrokostas Family Foundation in honor of General Ioannis Makrianis, has enabled us to showcase our ideas, research, and collections through vibrant exhibitions that foster a broader dialogue with the public. In the few short years since our opening, we have sponsored a wide range of exhibitions, including Ioannis Makrianis' Vital Expression, The Free and the Brave, American Philhellenes and the Glorious Struggle of the Greeks, 1776 to 1866, Ion Dragoumis, Between East and West, Hippos, the horse in ancient Athens. Okay. And also The Epic of Anatolia, the Asia Minor catastrophe in the literature between the wars, Dionysius Solomos, Two Flames, Manolis Haros, among others. And I'm pleased to invite you this summer and fall to visit the Macriani's Wing when our upcoming exhibition, Frisaki, Revival of a Neighborhood, will be on view, starting June 18th. Now, until then, and with special gratitude to Andreas Zombanakis and through the generosity of the Gennadius Library overseers, we have on view our current exhibition, In the Name of Humanity, American Relief Aid in Greece, 1918 to 1929. It's curated by Eleftheria Delaziou, Natalia Voigekov-Brogan, and Maria Yorgopoulou. And this exhibition chronicles the remarkable history of American humanitarian aid to Greece during one of the most pivotal moments in Greek history. I now invite Natalia Voigekov-Brogan to tell you more about it. Natalia.
Thank you, Bona. Kalispera. Tonight, I'm honored to share with you a powerful story that has been largely forgotten. In a time of war, Greece faced an unprecedented challenge as 1.5 million refugees from Asia Minor sought refuge on its shores. At the American School of Classical Studies, we recognized our unique position to shed light on this humanitarian effort. Not only did our collections hold materials related to this moment, but some of our staff were also actively involved in the relief effort itself. The exhibition, In the Name of Humanity, chronicles the remarkable tale of American humanitarian relief efforts in Greece from 1918 to 1929. As you will see, the numbers and impact of these efforts are staggering. This is a story we strongly feel must be told, and with your support, we aim to take this exhibition across the United States, ensuring that this historic moment is never forgotten. As we assembled this exhibition, it became clear that history indeed repeats itself. Despite the passage of time, the world is still, unfortunately, grappling with the refugee crisis today. Now, please take a moment to turn your attention to the screen above and experience a glimpse of what makes this exhibition so powerful. Thank you.
This exhibition, In the Name of Humanity, American Relief Aid in Greece, 1918 to 1929, is drawn from the rich archives and collections of the American School and organizations who generously lent to the exhibition to chronicle the story of American involvement in one of the most pivotal moments in modern Greek history.
1922, the catastrophe of Smyrna and the exchange of populations that occurred in 1923 was a momentous event in modern Greek history. At a time when Greece had a population of about 5 million, it received 1.2 million refugees from Asia Minor.
Our curators have brought together letters, accounts, diaries, and things that were created by refugees to chronicle this history.
This exhibition is the product of recent research. It's a new story.
A story of American altruism through individuals and institutions that saved hundreds of thousands of Greek lives.
This story of American humanitarian relief in Greece was not known to the wider public.
And this was important because many Americans who were instrumental in offering help to the refugees were very much involved with the American School. So it is a way to look through our own history with new eyes and appreciate different facets of what we have done as an institution and, of course, who we are.
There's a lot of people that rise to the occasion during this moment. It's an international story of love, of compassion, of despair, but of hope. It's an indicator of humanity at its finest.
If I can have your attention for one quick moment. I just want to welcome Kathleen Lynch, the Vice Chair of the Managing Committee, just to make a brief announcement.
Thank you. Thank you, George. Before we start the rest of our program, on behalf of the Gala Committee, I want to thank you for your support tonight. One way you can help the school is by bidding on the items in our silent auction. All of these have been graciously donated, and therefore 100% of the proceeds go to the American School. Now, if you don't want to bid on anything, you can still participate in supporting the American School by making a contribution tonight using those same iPads at your tables. All of the money we raise directly supports our academic programs and the work of the American School. And as a thank you, when you are in Athens, as I know you all will be, please be sure to reach out to us so that we can arrange a private tour of our campus and our excavations. Thank you and enjoy the rest of your dinner. We will be back with you shortly.
Ladies and gentlemen, we hope you enjoyed your dinner. I'd like you to please welcome now the Secretary of the Trustees of the American School of Classical Studies at Athens, Jackie McCabe.
I'm delighted to be here tonight introducing Lynn Scher, who's giving the real introduction to our Gala nominee, Mary Lefkowitz. For those who haven't had the pleasure of hearing Lynn speak, you're in for a treat. Brilliantly witty, Lynn has had an incredibly accomplished career as a broadcast journalist, author, and longtime correspondent for the iconic news program 2020. Lynn graduated from Wellesley College in 1963, where she majored in ancient Greek and was a student of Professor Lefkowitz. And tonight, Lynn will share some reflections on Professor Lefkowitz, whose passion and enthusiasm she experienced firsthand in the classroom. The world was a different place then, as was Wellesley. It was a world where women often filled more traditional roles post-graduation. While Wellesley sought to provide a first-class education and to nurture the minds of its graduates in subjects like classical studies, more often than not, its graduates often proceeded to assume roles as polished and well-read wives and homemakers. Lynn, however, had different aspirations. She began her career in New York, where she pursued positions in both print and broadcast journalism, fields where, to date, women had been largely excluded. Not only was Lynn a pioneer in these fields, she rose to the top, winning an Emmy, a Gracie Award, and a George Foster Peabody Award, among others. Lynn has written best-selling books, including...
If I can have your attention for one quick moment. I just want to welcome Kathleen Lynch, the Vice Chair of the Managing Committee, just to make a brief announcement.
Thank you, George. Before we start the rest of our program, on behalf of the Gala Committee, I want to thank you for your support tonight. One way you can help the school is by bidding on the items in our silent auction. All of these have been graciously donated, and therefore 100% of the proceeds go to the American School. Now, if you don't want to bid on anything, you can still participate in supporting the American School by making a contribution tonight using those same iPads at your tables. All of the money we raise directly supports our academic programs and the work of the American School. And as a thank you, when you are in Athens, as I know you all will be, please be sure to reach out to us so that we can arrange a private tour of our campus and our excavations. Thank you and enjoy the rest of your dinner. We will be back with you shortly.
Ladies and gentlemen, we hope you enjoyed your dinner. I'd like you to please welcome now the Secretary of the Trustees of the American School of Classical Studies at Athens, Jackie McCabe.
I'm delighted to be here tonight introducing Lynn Scher, who's giving the real introduction to our Gala nominee, Mary Lefkowitz. For those who haven't had the pleasure of hearing Lynn speak, you're in for a treat. Brilliantly witty, Lynn has had an incredibly accomplished career as a broadcast journalist, author, and longtime correspondent for the iconic news program 2020. Lynn graduated from Wellesley College in 1963, where she majored in ancient Greek and was a student of Professor Lefkowitz. And tonight, Lynn will share some reflections on Professor Lefkowitz, whose passion and enthusiasm she experienced firsthand in the classroom. The world was a different place then, as was Wellesley. It was a world where women often filled more traditional roles post-graduation. While Wellesley sought to provide a first-class education and to nurture the minds of its graduates in subjects like classical studies, more often than not, its graduates often proceeded to assume roles as polished and well-read wives and homemakers. Lynn, however, had different aspirations. She began her career in New York, where she pursued positions in both print and broadcast journalism, fields where, to date, women had been largely excluded. Not only was Lynn a pioneer in these fields, she rose to the top, winning an Emmy, a Gracie Award, and a George Foster Peabody Award, among others. Lynn has written best-selling books, including one on Susan B. Anthony, her hero, and she's written and spoken extensively about women's issues, including the power of women as agents for change. In that regard, one cannot help but see parallels to Professor Lefkowitz, whose teaching and writing have spanned a broad range of topics, including the role of women in the ancient world. On behalf of the Board of Trustees, Mary, we want to extend our warmest congratulations to you tonight as you receive the Athens Prize. And without further ado, Lynn Scher.
Thank you, Jackie. Way too generous. The star of the evening is the woman who is about to appear before you very soon. I'm delighted to be here, and I want to start by telling you that I have a secret to tell you about Mary Lefkowitz. She is not only a gifted scholar, a beloved professor, a respected author, a fearless advocate for truth. She is also, ready for this, really cool. In fact, when I was her student at Wellesley College, majoring in Greek, Mary was the coolest person on campus. She was smart, and by the way, the laughter you're hearing is other Wellesley students who are agreeing with me. We're all around, we're everywhere. Mary was smart and funny and irreverent, a daunting but accessible teacher whose intellectual self-confidence and clear joy of learning inspired all of us to stretch our own minds. And she made it so much fun. Once, putting on flippers with the rest of us to hop around the indoor swimming pool, chanting "Brekkekekex, coax, coax" for our production of The Frogs. Mary's superpower is her brilliance. She wanted to teach because she liked to learn. Think about that. A respect for knowledge and the rigors of accuracy, to examine every shard of classical antiquity, to explore and share the magic of icons from Aeschylus to Zeus. The prestigious award that you honor her with this evening is so fitting. The Athens Prize from the American School of Classical Studies in Athens for outstanding contributions towards the advancement of knowledge of ancient Greece. It completes the circle for a passionate classicist who studied at the school when she was a sophomore and has served as a trustee for some 20 years. This award also recognizes her unflinching search for precision in a subject that has intrigued her since she was a teenager. Mary's book, Lives of the Greek Poets, upended convention to establish that everything we know about Homer and Hesiod and so many others is actually fiction. Her Euripides and the Gods, with critical insights into the playwright's religious beliefs, has been called, and I quote from a review, compelling, a work of incisive scholarship, close quote. And the honors just kept coming. A National Humanities Medal for her excellence in teaching at Wellesley for 46 years, and for sharing her scholarship even longer. The cherished Alumni Achievement Award from our alma mater. Even the government of Greece recently recognized her extraordinary career and her role in enhancing Greek-American cultural relations by making her an honorary Greek citizen. Mary has the passport to prove it, a Greek passport with her name in Greek letters, of course. But perhaps Mary's greatest influence has been in illuminating the role of women in a society that largely ignored them. Her pioneering source book, Women's Life in Greece and Rome, co-edited with Maureen Fant, peels away centuries of neglect to bring long-buried stories to life. It has been called, simply, essential. And its impact has been profound, sparking the creation of a new field of study. What a thrilling tribute. Generations of scholars taking up her discoveries to advance their own knowledge. See for yourself on the screen above me as the American School of Classical Studies at Athens premieres its newest film, Mary Lefkowitz and Ancient Greek Women.
Studying the lives of women in ancient Greece is a real challenge because they led fairly sequestered lives. They didn't write about themselves. They've left very little material evidence.
But to ignore women is to ignore 50% of the ancient population, and now it's just a vital and central part of any inquiry into the ancient world.
One of the most important books is that anthology put together by Mary Lefkowitz and Maureen Fant in 1977.
We needed a source book with quotations from ancient sources so people could look at original sources.
The impact of Mary Lefkowitz's sources on ancient Greek women was a real eye-opener. As a result of Mary Lefkowitz's work and all the work on women, in the 80s, I and my colleagues began to teach courses on women in the ancient world.
Anyone who studies ancient women is giving them a voice, is showing that they had important roles to play in society.
It's difficult to speak in any capacious blanket way about women in Greek antiquity because there was immense heterogeneity depending on where you were. We do get closer to female lived experience if we consider not only literary sources, but also material culture, visual iconography, and epigraphic sources.
Women's lives do change over time. Class and status plays a great role. We know more about the lives of women with property, and much less about the lives of ordinary women who were the paid workers or the slaves.
There's women across the Hellenistic and Roman world that were politically astute, and they also made donations where they felt it would have the greatest impact. That is something that we found especially on, say, Samothrace, where Hellenistic queens have made dedications of really large-scale buildings.
We know that Spartan women could exercise in public. They addressed men in public. They could inherit and own land. Aristotle, in his Politics, complains that by the 4th century, women held 2/5 of land holdings in the polis of Lacedaemon. And that's strikingly different than what we know elsewhere, where women could inherit property, but not necessarily own property, own their possessions. So we do see Spartan women with more visibility, with more agency maybe, with more of a voice than we encounter in Athens during the same period.
It's somewhat ironic that under the Athenian democracy, women seem to have less freedom than they did in the earlier period. Women's lives had to be a little more constrained in order to keep the bloodlines clean for citizenship.
The famous leading democratic statesman Pericles, he tells the Athenians that the greatest glory for a woman is to be the least spoken of by men for good or for ill.
Pericles had a wife, but he also had a courtesan, the great Aspasia. She was smart, educated, well-dressed, good-looking, articulate. And Aspasia was among the people whom Socrates really loved to talk to the most. Think of Antigone, Medea, Hecuba, Lysistrata. The men that wrote these plays, they knew the power of women. So, what was their role in this radical democracy?
What we did was to look at inscriptions, to look at things other than formal literature, to try and show what most people who could afford to buy a tombstone thought about women.
We do have some clues, and we do have law cases. There's a famous one of Neaira, who was a prostitute from Corinth, who managed to pay for her own freedom and married an Athenian citizen. And she was taken to court because people were very upset that this former prostitute from Corinth, of all places, was now married to an Athenian citizen.
We encounter many women embroiled in these law court cases and with real agency, taking relatives on their side to make their case in court for them, and even petitioning to get back property that they consider as belonging to their household, to them and their dependents.
Women essentially represented the oikos, or the household, and this was the basis of Greek social structure in the polis, in the city-state. They were essential because they provided offspring, particularly male offspring. They took care of the household, and they actually produced some income.
The wedding for classical women signified the transition from one household to the other, to the new house, to the new oikos of her husband. This deposit includes a number of vases decorated with wedding scenes. A specific one drew my attention. It's decorated with a very specific representation, which is called a pavlia, according to Hesychius. The day after the wedding, relatives and friends were going to the new house of the couple and they were bringing their gifts. The central female figure is gazing on her husband, who is sitting at the other side of the pot, and both figures are flanked with cupids and other female attendants bringing their gifts, such as sashes, boxes, and so on.
In most Greek communities, the be-all and end-all of womanhood was to produce offspring. The process of childbirth, we know, was very difficult, and texts in the Hippocratic Corpus speak to extremely graphic, difficult instances in which physicians needed to intervene in a childbirth that had gone awry to save or try to save the life of the mother.
Aristotle writes a good deal about it. Among them, the very bad ideas was that the womb was divided into two chambers, left and right, and the right was where the males were conceived, and the left was where the women were concealed. So already the women are operating disadvantaged.
We encounter women serving as midwives. We also have epigraphic evidence for a woman named Phanostrate from the 4th century BCE as both a Maya, a midwife, and an iatros, a physician, a doctor. So in at least this case, we can see that the role of this woman, Phanostrate, in healing and healthcare included not only midwifery, but something broader than that.
We know that women served as priestesses mostly to female deities, and they were highly honored and sometimes appointed for life.
This mosaic gives us important information about a priestess. Her name was Hara, and she was priestess of Neotera, thus giving us evidence for the goddess that was worshipped in the temple. Neotera was Persephone, or Kore, which in Greek means the daughter of the goddess Demeter.
These statues turned out to be statues of young girls who held official cult positions in the sanctuary. We know from a hymn to Demeter that there was a procession and there was a girl who carried a licnon. The licnon is a clay model of a winnowing tray that is used in the process of clearing the grain after it's been harvested. And on it are cakes. So we have many of these licna in which different kinds of cakes were offered to Demeter. And since women probably did the baking, it seems to be another reflection on their activity. Also, I assume that they also brought not just replicas of cakes, but they also brought cakes that they had made at home.
Ancient Greece was full of people, of voices, and clay gods. And this is a site where clay gods were deposited by women who came from the city of Corinth to worship Demeter and her daughter, Persephone. We want to know their feelings, their passions, what they suffered, what were their lives.
It isn't just about war or kings or utter royalty, but it's ordinary people, people like ourselves. And I would never have known that as well if I hadn't studied women in antiquity.
Tonight, I invite Rob Loomis, the president of the trustees of the American School of Classical Studies at Athens, escorted by Ariana Packard Martell, Jackie McCabe, Bona Westcott, Lynn Shear, and our chairman, Alex Zagorius.
Yeah, there you go.
Some women over on this side. Get on the other side of here. With
I'm sorry, I didn't know.
Okay, so we need some women over here. There we go. Come on. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my distinct pleasure to invite to the stage our Athens Prize recipient, Mary Lefkowitz. So, on behalf of the trustees of the American School of Classical Studies at Athens, I hereby present you with the Athens Prize for outstanding contributions to the advancement of knowledge of ancient Greece.
Thank you. He wants us over here now.
No, he's here. He's
Back
here.
on this side. Okay.
In the middle. There we go. Move up. Perfect. Great.
All right, here we go.
Oh, wait. What? Here, I'll take the paper. I won't lose it.
Thank you, Rachel.
Kitty. Better. Here we go.
Thank you.
I'll put it back. Okay, we can go sit down.
My friends here. Put that down. Can you hear me? Well, my thanks. My thanks so much. My thanks to the Board of Trustees for this prestigious award. It never occurred to me that I would be considered for it. I'm not an archaeologist. I'm a classical philologist. Now, just to clarify what philology means, a very famous classical philology, that is not me, defined philology as looking things up in books. So, no potsherds, no stratigraphy, no danger of getting sunstroke. Quite the opposite. So, I guess I'm here to demonstrate what the American school can do even for people like me. Now, my first experience in the American school was in 1955, just 69 years ago. I went because Barbara McCarthy, who was my professor and mentor at Wellesley, and later my colleague, told me that I could not understand Greek history unless I visited Greece. And she was right. You need to see, you need to experience how far places in Greece are from one another, even though they look close on a map. And the 6 weeks or so I spent in Greece that summer have kept me coming back to Greece again and again to see and to learn, not just about ancient monuments, but about what was what was built and what happened ever since. I was able to learn a lot more from going around sites with my Wellesley classmate, Betsy Gebhard, trustee emerita of the American School. Betsy took me around ancient Corinth and sites nearby. Starting in 1996, I saw even more of the ancient Greek world by lecturing on Wellesley College alumni trips, which were organized by Thalassa Journeys, which is formerly Travel Dynamics. And in my 20 years as a trustee of the school, I've had an opportunity to learn even more, not just about ancient Greece, but about Greece ever after. Having difficulty seeing, of course, here. Let me just add that studying the remote past is like putting the pieces of a jigsaw puzzle together, except that a lot of the pieces are missing. And that's literally true of archaeology, and it's metaphorically true also of ancient literature and ancient history. With a very few exceptions, we have only a small fraction, and I would say not even 20%, of what was originally written, and only a few clues about why the dwindling selection of these few pieces was made. And that applies also to what we know about ancient Greek women. It wasn't until after the publication in 1975 of my dear friend, Professor Sarah Pomeroy, Sarah's book, Goddesses, Whores, Wives, and Slaves, that sort of awakened us, mostly women anyway, and we began to study and write about the material that has survived. Sarah's here tonight, and anything that I have done in that field was inspired by her book and our other work. So here's to Sarah. Let me just conclude by saying that all of us who study the ancient world are fortunate still to be able to read what has survived, and in the case of sites and monuments, to see and get close to what is still standing. I don't have a wine glass with me, but let me propose a toast anyway for you to execute. Here's to the American School, for all that it's done for me, for all that it's done for so many others, and I want to thank everyone who's here tonight for their support and their interest in this great institution. Thank you. I didn't way to carry it. You did great.
Congratulations, Mary, and thank you all for joining us this evening, and to our colleagues in Athens at the American School for inspiring us. I would like to extend our gratitude to my colleagues in the Princeton office and thank them for their support this evening. I want to especially thank the volunteers that came here and helped. We had a decoration team and a committee that really supported us. I want to thank all of you for the beautiful centerpieces and the layout and doing everything that you can. In a moment, we're going to be closing the silent auction at 9:25, so we have a few minutes. And at the end of the silent auction, you're going to be checking out in the rear where you came when you checked in. So please keep bidding up until 9:25. I'll come in and let you know. And we finally ask you to save the date for next year's gala and help spread the word. It'll be Thursday, May 8th, 2025 in the same venue. We hope you had a wonderful time. Thank you to our gala co-chairs and our gala committee and to everyone. And Mary Lefkowitz, Axia, congratulations.